Stop scrolling. You think Hollywood gives these monster movies a fair shot? They don't. They buried them. While studios pushed safe blockbusters, these terrifying creature features were left to disappear. But they deserve better. Today we're ranking 15 monster movies Hollywood buried. Stick around for number 1. Its creature design is so horrifying, it makes blockbuster monsters look tame. Kicking things off at number 15 is Feast. A group of strangers gets trapped in a desert bar while a family of ravenous, fast-breeding creatures lays siege outside. The monsters are disgusting, slobbering, tooth-filled, feral humanoids that breed faster than you can reload. The gore is unapologetic, the kills come fast, and the film has a twisted sense of humor that makes the brutality hit even harder. Project Greenlight produced this, which should have guaranteed a solid marketing push. Instead, the studio dumped it into a handful of theaters with almost zero promotion and walked away. It's what happens when From Dusk Till Dawn violently collides with zero restraint and twice the carnage. Fast, feral, absolutely relentless. If you want a monster movie that does not play nice, start here.
At number 14 is Sweetheart.
A young woman washes up on a deserted island after a shipwreck, only to realize she is not alone. Something hunts her from the jungle at night. Something amphibious, humanoid, and absolutely relentless. Kiersey Clemons carries this movie almost entirely alone with barely any dialogue, and it works brilliantly. It carries the survival isolation of Castaway, injected with a creature feature where the monster actually gets real screen time. Sleek, pale, and predatory, with just enough humanity in its face to make it deeply unsettling. With zero safety net and nowhere to run, the survival tension is razor sharp. The monster reveal is completely earned, proving you don't need a massive blockbuster budget to deliver a masterclass in claustrophobic terror.
Coming in at number 13 is Cold Skin.
A young weather observer arrives at a desolate Antarctic lighthouse to find the previous keeper has gone mad, fighting a nightly war against amphibious humanoid creatures emerging from the frozen ocean. The creature design is haunting. Pale, sinewy humanoids with glowing eyes that are simultaneously terrifying and strangely sympathetic. The cinematography is breathtaking, all ice-cold blues and isolation that seeps into your bones. Instead of relying on cheap jump scares, the film drowns you in pure, atmospheric horror. It balances the breathtaking beauty of the frozen landscape with the sheer, primal terror of what lurks in the water. Take the ice-cold isolation of the lighthouse and inject it with pure Lovecraftian dread. The atmosphere alone is worth the watch. Pure, cold, existential dread from start to finish. Have you seen any other underrated Lovecraftian movies like Cold Skin? Drop your favorites in the comments.
At number 12 is Mimic.
You see the size of that thing?
We changed its DNA.
This was Guillermo del Toro's first American studio film, and Miramax immediately tried to destroy it. The premise is terrifying. Scientists engineer a new insect species to wipe out a disease-carrying cockroach population in New York. 3 years later, those insects have evolved. They are now 6 feet tall. They can mimic human appearance, and they hunt in the pitch-black subway tunnels. The creature design is pure nightmare fuel. Giant, praying mantis-like predators that fold their limbs to look like men in trench coats. While the theatrical version was completely butchered and abandoned by the studio, the director's cut restores del Toro's signature gothic vision. Hollywood straight up did this director dirty. If you have only seen the theatrical cut, you haven't actually seen the real film.
Entering the list at number 11 is Splinter.
Let's get back!
A couple and an escaped convict get trapped at a rural gas station while a parasitic fungal creature picks them off one by one. The monster is genius. It takes over dead bodies and snaps their limbs backward to move like a grotesque marionette puppet. Every movement is wrong. Every sound it makes is wrong. The budget was tiny, but the creature design is one of the most original you will ever see in indie horror. A parasitic fungus that hijacks bodies and weaponizes their own skeletons. All practical effects, no CGI shortcuts, relentless pacing, genuine dread. This is what happens when filmmakers have pure vision and absolutely nothing to lose. It is tense, it is gross, and it will make you genuinely afraid of splintered wood.
At number 10 is Underwater.
Kristen Stewart leads a crew of deep-sea researchers trapped 7 miles below the ocean surface when their drilling station collapses. But the real nightmare is what they find in the darkness. Lovecraftian creatures, massive, ancient, and entirely hostile, hunting them through the crushing deep. Picture Alien, dragged 7 miles down to the crushing blackness of the Mariana Trench, with the pressure suit claustrophobia of a survival thriller. And Fox buried it in January, the traditional dumping ground for movie studios have no faith in. The creature reveal in the third act is genuinely jaw-dropping. This movie was released and abandoned so fast, most people never even knew it existed. It is tight, it is claustrophobic, and it respects its monsters more than most $100 million blockbusters ever will.
At number 9 is Splice.
Elsa, get out! It's dangerous!
Adrian Brody and Sarah Polley play genetic scientists who secretly create a hybrid human-animal creature named Dren. She starts curious and innocent, watching, learning, and bonding. She does not stay that way. What begins as a sci-fi ethical dilemma mutates into one of the most disturbing body horror monster movies ever made. The creature evolution across the runtime is genuinely stunning. Dren transforms through stages that grow more unsettling each time you see her, and by the third act, you will not believe what you are watching. Is it a sci-fi film? Is it horror? Is it a twisted family drama? It is all three, and that is exactly what makes it unforgettable. Weird, bold, completely unforgettable.
At number 8 is Pandorum. Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid wake up on a massive colony ship with no memory of who they are or how they got there. And they are not alone. Mutant, cannibalistic creatures have evolved in the darkness over centuries, and they hunt by sound. The studio gave this a $33 million budget, then completely abandoned it, releasing it against massive blockbusters with zero promotional support. The creature design is pure nightmare fuel. Pale, sinewy, hyper-evolved humanoids that move faster than anything you have seen, striking from the shadows and vanishing before you can react. Imagine Alien and the Descent locked inside a derelict colony ship, with a psychological twist that genuinely surprises. The production design is stunning, the world building is rich, and the ending will genuinely mess with your head. At number 7 is The Bay.
We're gonna be okay.
Barry Levinson, an Oscar-winning director, crafted this deeply unsettling found-footage eco-horror about a parasitic outbreak that destroys a small Maryland town on the 4th of July. The creatures here aren't giant aliens. They are isopods, tiny, real-life sea crustaceans that mutate and start eating people from the inside out. The realism is what makes this devastating. These are real creatures, real biology, and the found-footage approach makes every moment feel terrifyingly authentic. It builds slowly, then the third act hits you like a runaway freight train. Trust me, you will never look at tap water the same way again.
Coming in at number 6 is The Ruins.
A group of tourists visiting an ancient Mayan temple discover the vines covering the structure are carnivorous. These plants do not just kill you, they crawl under your skin, mimic human voices, and force you to perform surgery on yourself. DreamWorks produced this and gave it a wide theatrical release, then completely abandoned the marketing the moment tracking numbers looked soft. Picture The Descent, but the cave itself is alive and crawling under your skin. The practical effects are horrifying. The tension never lets up, and the plant biology is disturbingly plausible. If the idea of nature turning against you genuinely terrifies you, this one will destroy you. Cracking the top 5, we have Slither. Long before James Gunn was directing Guardians of the Galaxy, he made this, a grotesque, hilarious, and deeply wrong creature feature about an alien parasite that crash lands in a small town and starts turning people into flesh-hungry zombie hosts. Think Night of the Creeps with a $15 million budget, Gunn's twisted humor, and zero studio supervision. The practical creature effects are disgusting in the best possible way. Slithering slugs, bloated bodies, and a final monster form that has to be seen to be believed. It bombed at the time. Audiences in 2006 had no idea what to make of a movie this tonally insane. But it has since become one of the most beloved cult monster movies of the 2000s. And watching it now, you will wonder how anyone ever missed it.
At number 4 is Nightbreed. Clive Barker, the mind behind Hellraiser, directed this dark fantasy monster epic about a man who discovers a hidden city of monsters living beneath a cemetery. The creature designs are staggering. Over 200 unique monsters created entirely with practical prosthetics, makeup, and animatronics. The studio panicked. They recut the film, marketed it as a slasher, which it is not, and buried it. That is a crime against cinema. The director's cut restores Barker's vision, a monster rebellion epic where the creatures are the heroes. Think Pan's Labyrinth meets a monster rebellion epic with more practical creature designs than any film of its era. The world building is rich, the mythology runs deep, and it is nothing like what the studio tried to sell you. Entering the top 3, we have The Void. Think The Thing meets a fever dream version of Hellraiser shot on a shoestring budget with more practical creature effects than most blockbusters. A local cop finds a blood-soaked man on a desolate road and brings him to a skeleton-staffed hospital. Minutes later, the hospital is surrounded by hooded cultists, and inside, things are mutating into eldritch horrors that make absolutely no sense. The monsters in this are practical, gooey, and pure cosmic nightmare fuel. Tentacles, melting flesh, impossible geometries tearing through human bodies, all crafted by hand. The creature design alone is some of the most impressive practical work you will ever see outside of a major studio production. All handcrafted, all practical, all deeply wrong in the best possible way. It is dark, it is frantic, and it feels like a lost John Carpenter masterpiece. If you crave practical effects and Lovecraftian dread, this is exactly what you need. So what do you guys prefer? Smooth CGI monsters or gooey practical effects like The Void? Drop your pick in the comments. Coming in at number 2 is Color Out of Space.
Can you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore.
Nicolas Cage gives a performance that is a masterclass in manic, unraveling energy. But he is not the star here. A meteor crashes into a family's alpaca farm, and everything, the plants, the animals, and eventually the family themselves, begins mutating into grotesque, neon-colored abominations that defy biology. This is not just a monster movie. It is cosmic sci-fi horror at its most brutal and beautiful. Think Annihilation meets Lovecraft with a color palette that genuinely makes you feel unwell. It embraces the absolute madness of the unknown, delivering a visual experience where you are watching reality itself bleed, mutate, and completely collapse. The visual effects are legitimately disturbing. Flesh merging with flora, time fracturing, and a color that should not exist consuming everything in its path. It is genuinely intense and one of the best Lovecraftian adaptations ever committed to film. If you have not seen it, stop what you are doing and watch it tonight. And finally, entering the top spot at number 1 is The Ritual.
I woke up last night and look at this.
4 friends hike into the Swedish wilderness to honor a fallen friend, take a wrong path through the forest, and discover they are being hunted by something ancient, massive, and entirely unholy. I will not spoil the creature's reveal, and you should actively avoid looking it up before watching, but the design is absolutely devastating. It is a mix of Norse mythology and pure creature feature brutality that puts every blockbuster monster to shame. Think The Descent meets Hereditary, with a monster that has no right being this well designed. David Bruckner directed this with a level of restraint and patience that makes the payoff genuinely unforgettable. Netflix dropped this with zero fanfare and pushed it deep into their library, hiding it from the audience it deserved. This is not just a monster movie. It is claustrophobic survival horror that masterfully blends psychological trauma with terrifying creature design. That is the entire film. No filler, all dread. If you watch only one film from this list, make it this one. That's the list. 15 brutal monster movies Hollywood buried. Agree or disagree with the rankings? I'd love to hear your take in the comments. Tell me which monster movie genuinely traumatized you. I'm always hunting for the next hidden creature feature. Subscribe for more hidden gems every week. Thanks for watching, happy binging, and I'll see you in the next one.